Hey y'all, this is Carter with Hits on Hand. On this video, we're going to walk you through how to clean and put replacement coils in your FireBox Atomizer. You'll need your FireBox Atomizer. You'll need a screwdriver that comes with it. Your replacement coils. A little dab tool. Some cotton swabs. Q-tips. A mod box. And rubbing alcohol, and a dish to put that rubbing alcohol in. So first you're going to want to pour the rubbing alcohol into your dish. Next you're going to want to screw your FireBox Atomizer onto your mod. Just makes it easy for separating the pieces. And then you want to separate the vent piece and the square shell. Now you can drop those directly into rubbing alcohol with the O-rings on. I do that way because I'm lazy. If you'd like, you can take the O-ring off and rub it down with a little bit of vegetable oil. Now you want to unscrew your terminal screws completely. The two inner screws, middle screws, that are inside the rectangular terminal, we refer to that terminal as the positive terminal, and the two outside screw holes we refer to as the negative terminals. You're going to want to unscrew all the screws and then drop those into your alcohol dish for cleaning. Again, this is a pretty nasty unit right now. It's been through pretty good times, so as you can see, it's pretty gunked up. We're going to get all this nice and clean. Now that you have the screws out, you can just slide the coils out by sliding your screwdriver into the screw hole and just pull it out. It should come out relatively easy. As you can see, this unit's pretty gunked up again. I did that on purpose. Normally I would have scraped all the extra remaining stuff out the sides, thrown them back on the coil and smoked them down until there was nothing left in here, but for the sake of the video, I wanted to keep it as dirty as possible to show you viewers how clean you can really get these no matter what type of condition they're in. Okay, now you just want to unscrew your atomizer from your mod box. You can just drop that entire piece right in your alcohol. Again, if you want to, you can take your O-rings off and rub the O-rings down with a little bit of olive oil or vegetable oil and keep it to the side. That you have all the FireBox pieces in your alcohol, you can just lid it if you do have a lid. If not, just let them sit there and soak for a while and kind of wash them around in there. I like to give them a nice little shake. Alright, so once you've given that a good shake, open it up. You can start taking out the vent cap. Basically just want to set that down on your rubbing alcohol. If needed, you can run a cotton swab through there, but probably don't need to. Take the shell out. Again, just place that off to the side on like a paper towel or something. Grab your screws out of there. Again, just place those over on the paper towel. And then your atomizer piece still might have a little bit of reclaim or oil left in there. So basically just take your cotton swab, dip it in some rubbing out in the alcohol, and then just kind of just do a quick rub down with it. You'll notice the stuff removes pretty easy. And basically what you're trying to do is just get to the corners of the dish. After you've given it a good little wipe down, you can drop it back in the alcohol solution and give it another little shake, and it should pretty much clean it to brand new for you. There you go. Pretty much clean and brand new. If I wanted to, again, I can sit here and work at it a little more with a cotton tip, Q-tip to clean it completely, but I'm a little lazy, so I'll let it go from there. Now you just want to dry your pieces. Again, there's your screws, just drying the alcohol off. And at this point, if you had removed your O-rings, you could put your O-rings back on to your atomizer pieces after they were dried off. If you, like I said, if you had removed your O-rings and rubbed them down with a little bit of olive oil or vegetable oil. Again, not needed, but if you want to preserve the life of your O-rings a little longer, you can do that. Just running the cotton swab by and just drying off every little bit. Now you can replace your atomizer back to your mod box, and we can start the coil prep. Alright, and this is pretty much what your coils should look like before you're installing them into your FireBox Atomizer. We do try to bend all our coil legs like this before we ship them out to you, but it is possible it could straighten or whatever in the packaging. So I'm going to go through just how to bend it and make it look like this if that does happen. So looking at this, we have one coil leg that it has a step in the side that actually widens out the coil legs. We also have the tips of the coil legs bent at a 45 degree angle, which again makes it easier for install. So if you get a coil from us that for some reason is straightened out, you can actually bend one of the coil legs over at a 90 degree angle, and then right past the edge of the coil, you want to bend that leg back up at another 90 degree angle, creating that step in the leg. You're only going to do this with one of the legs. After you make that step, you can just bend both tips of your coil legs up at a 45 degree angle. So you should have something that looks pretty much just like this. And that coil is ready for install. So now you want to prep your terminal holes with the screws that will be holding your coil legs in place. You're going to be putting one screw in one positive terminal, and then you'll be putting one screw in a negative terminal. And it is important you will have them separated between the positive terminal hole that you're not using, which will be used for the other coil on the other side. So you just want to put your screws in, like maybe just one twist in, so you're not covering up the coil leg hole, but just so it's sitting in the hole, just like, yeah, nice and easy. All right, so now you're gonna wanna put the leg that doesn't have a step in it into your positive terminal hole, which is right there. And then the leg that does have the step in it, you're gonna wanna slide that into the negative terminal hole. You basically just wanna use the 45 degree angles that you put in there and that you put on the coil legs, and just kind of first you just kind of press it right into that hole. Now, if you're not cleaning your machine fully, you might see a little difficulty because you might have shatter or some sort of concentrate stuck in those terminal holes. One thing you can do is just heat up your coil leg with a lighter real quick, and by doing that, you should be able to pierce any concentrate or anything you have stuck in those holes. A big thing to remember is don't over tighten these screws once you get your coil legs in there, because if you do over tighten it, you could snap or shear the coil leg. So just want to be nice and careful with it. As you can see, I've tightened it kind of slow, And as I'm tightening it, I'm also pressing my coil down to the base of the dish. Another thing to remember is with that coil leg that's going to the negative terminal, the outside terminal, you just want to make sure that none of that coil leg is touching the positive terminal. So that's another reason why we put that step in there. If you, for some reason, set it up to where your coil leg is touching your center terminal or your positive terminal, you could create a spark, and basically what that would do is pop your coil leg, and you'd have to install a different coil. So basically when you do this, just make sure that your negative coil leg is not touching the positive terminal at all. And you just want to repeat these steps for your other side for installing the coils. And if you have any overhang from your coil legs, just bend those up against the positive terminal or cut them. And if you've installed both your coils correctly, your ohms should be reading about 0.63 to 0.7. If you only have one coil installed in your machine will read right about 1.2 to 1.4 ohms. And now you can just basically coat your coils on your machine. You're going to want to basically cover those coils completely with your concentrate. And your first time heating it up is basically going to prime those coils or season them a little bit. Our coils almost act as health stones, so when you heat them up a little bit, the chorus pores actually suck in a lot of your concentrate, and that's what the original seasoning process will do for you, so you don't get any dry hits. So right now I'm just going to do a quick heat up with just a quick temp heat of the coils, and basically what I'm doing is just melting some of that concentrate around those coils, and that's pretty much the seasoning process right there. Now you can start smoking on this right now if you'd like. Me personally, I like filling my machine up full just so I can puff on it for a while. So I'm just gonna load it full rest with this sugar wax we have right here. It does really work with anything. One thing you wanna watch for is if you're loading it up with some really hard shatter, don't press too hard down on your coil legs, or you could snap a coil leg by doing that. What I like to do is just ball up my shatter in little tiny balls and just set them on the coil, and then just heat them up and let them melt down, and then kind of just do that a couple times until it fills up. But as you can see, you can load this full. I think we put about a ½ gram in this, and again for the sugar wax, so it will melt down, and actually, after you melt it down a little bit, you can actually add more in to actually fit a whole gram in there if desired. So now this is after it's seasoned a little bit. We're going to lid it up. One thing you want to notice for is your air vent holes. So depending on how you put your vent cap on, you're going to change your airflow. So you have the big airflow, half airflow, and then closed airflow. I personally like mine on full airflow, so I'm just going to slide it open to where the full airflow is exposed. Some people like half open, some people like it closed. It's really just personal preference, but again, I like mine at full airflow. And you can twist that too while you have the vent cap in there. And so now you just want to lid up your firebox. All right, thanks for watching the video, guys. Hopefully you guys all liked it. If you have any questions on the coil changing process or cleaning out your FireBox Atomizer, please feel free to contact us via email at info@hitsonhand.com, or you can send us a message at the website at www.hitsonhand.com. Thanks for watching the video, and have a great rest of your day.